Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope wherever you are today, wherever you're working out, whenever you're working out, it is as beautiful as it is today here in Tennessee. It's like mid-November, 70 degrees, beautiful. Got the garage door open, so I hope you guys are having such a lovely day as well. So today, what we are going to need for our workout, pretty simple, but we do have one little twist that's something a little new for us. So I just recommend bring a full weight selection, just a light, medium, heavy. Again, that doesn't always mean bring your full weight rack, just a light option, a medium option, and a heavy option. So that's what you're gonna need weight-wise. The one kind of twist on the day that's a little different is that I asked you to bring an elevation item. I know that's really vague and kind of weird, but basically we're gonna be elevating 1 foot during 2 of our exercises. So if you have steps in your house, that's an easy way to do it that you can go work out with. I don't have steps in my set here. So for me, if you're someone who doesn't have that option, I thought a yoga block would be a really good option. It's nice and steady, meant to hold a bunch of weight, keep you balanced, pretty perfect. So if you have a yoga block, that's a great option. Otherwise, just whatever you have around. You don't want anything as high as a chair. So I would say think a step height, yoga block height, something like that. That's what you're looking for. Oh, what's Rue doing? She's so interested when we don't make her be interested. So you just want something that can really hold your weight, is about this tall, and that you can use in your workout. So that's why I was just kind of vague with elevation item, because that could be so many things. So, and then the last thing you're gonna need, of course, is just your yoga mat and floor support, whatever it is that makes you comfy in the floor. So today, we are working a circuit class. So I've done several circuits. You guys are pretty familiar with it, I'm sure, if you've done other workouts with me. So circuit class is a circuit of 8 exercises. We work for 1 minute straight, with 20 seconds in between the exercises. Once we get to the end of the 8 exercises, then we'll pause. We'll take about a 1.5 minute break. Then we'll do it all again. So we're gonna do that 4 times. So again, that's 8 minutes, 8 exercises, 1 minute of work, 20 seconds off. We'll go through that 4 times with a nice break in between. So the workout itself is pretty fast. It's just a little over 45 minutes, right at 46 minutes. So as long as I don't talk your heads off, we'll get through this pretty quickly today. Let's see, and the other thing about circuit is be a little more mindful or pay more close attention to our first round. The first round will be a little more clunky because you might be learning a new exercise, or you just have to see what we're doing. So the first round, while the time still moves fast, maybe you won't get a full minute every time because you've got to learn the new exercise, but then after that, you're gonna go super fast. I'm not gonna stop and spend a bunch of time coaching. I'm gonna start moving and telling you what to do. So I just encourage you to keep moving, even if you need to pay attention to what I'm doing before you start doing the exercise. March in place or something while you're looking at the television or your phone. That way you're still moving, not just kind of standing still, watching, and then eventually start moving for the last 20 seconds or so. So just keep moving, and then once you get through that first round, you'll know where you're going, and you'll just be able to right through it. So we're gonna be working front body today. So front body, if you drew a line this way of your body, we're working everything on the front half. So think quads, think abs, think chest, a little bit of like the front side of our shoulders, our biceps. So that's kind of what we're gonna be working today. There is going to be some up and down out of the floor. We do have some exercises in the floor. I'm kind of looking ahead. Really not till, no, throughout the exercise. So there will be some getting up and some getting down out of the floor. But if that's problematic for you, once you know what the exercises are, you can move at your own pace. Jot them down, reshuffle them to where you do everything in the floor at once, and you'll be fine. I do have them written in an order for a reason, but that doesn't mean you'll get a bad workout if you don't do it in the order I wrote it. So as always, just the last things I always add music if you need it. I do have the timer, so you'll be able to listen for the timer and move right along, even if you don't want to listen to me. You can hear the timer go off and tell you when to move, when to stop. Modify if needed. If I'm doing something that doesn't feel comfortable to you, find a modification. If you don't know how, shoot me a message and I will be happy to help you. I also try to always offer them as we are working through the exercises. Let's see, Facebook, of course, I'll be following along. In between each round, I'll check. So if you have any questions, just leave me a comment. Or of course, if you're working out afterwards, just leave me a message. You can comment wherever, whatever works for you. Just let me know. I'll be happy to help you. And the last couple things I always mention is please share these workouts, share this message, share what you're doing, be proud of what you're doing, and encourage others to do the same. There's so many benefits to exercise outside of just the physical changes. And if you do wish to donate any funds for these workouts, Venmo at Strong Style Fit is where you will find me. It is the only payment I receive for these workouts, so it is greatly appreciated when you are able to give. All right, guys, so I'm going to, of course, do my normal check, make sure the video is running, grab some water, and then we will get started. So go ahead and have your weights. We are going to start, and in fact, I'll go ahead and show you before we even get started. We are going to start meeting the block. So we're gonna do an elevated lunge. So we're gonna put the block down. Let me see. I don't think I have quite enough room when we actually exercise to show, but I wanna show you to make sure this is in the camera. So we're gonna lunge, it's gonna be a static lunge. So once we get our lunge position set up, we stay there and just come up and down. We're gonna put our block under our front foot and then step back. And it might be wobbly at first, especially if you have something, not yoga block is stable, but obviously a step is much more stable. So we're gonna step back into our lunge position. Again, I always like to sort of start at the bottom and make sure my knee is over my ankle, that this leg is straight down underneath me. So now I know I'm ending in the right position. I push up, now I'm starting in the right position. So we've got this foot elevated. It's gonna change the game because what that's gonna let you do, now the floor is further away from you, it's gonna let you lunge maybe even deeper than you normally do because you're not hitting the floor, you're not afraid of hitting your knee on the floor, you're more elevated from the floor, so it's gonna give you a little more options in depth. So we're gonna stay on one leg for the first round, so we'll go left leg first round, right leg second, left leg, right leg. We're staying here, up and down. You're welcome to add a weight if you want, or just take the challenge of the block. All right, so go ahead and get yourself all set up, squared away. I'm gonna have to move, get the timer, so when we start, it may take me a minute to get going. I'm also gonna scoot my block a little forward, so I've got plenty of room to work. All right, guys, so get set up. Give me about 15 seconds. We'll get going. All right, perfect. So I'm gonna hit the timer. You won't hear it. It doesn't have a starter buzzer, so I'm just gonna tell you when. You get going. I'll meet you here as soon as I can. All right, guys, let's get going in 3, 2, and 1. Let's work. So again, get that foot nice and steady. I'm finding my finish point here, and then I'm coming up and down. So it really gives you this awesome range of motion. So you can get so much further. It's also, having your foot elevated gives you a little more emphasis on your quad versus your glute. And since we're working front body, we really wanted to get into that quad. I'm also hearing, it's so quiet outside today, I'm hearing like my shoes squeaking. Good work, guys. We're right about 15 seconds. Again, if you want to add a weight, you can hold a weight here to your chest, or you can hold weight down by your side. Whoop. All right. So you can probably leave that there. We're actually going to use it for one more exercise, so don't toss it completely out of the way. Next, we're going to an alternating twisting bicep curl. So you want your bicep curl weight. Since we are doing alternating, that might be an opportunity if you want to experiment with going up a little heavier. Usually alternating will do it, since you're just lifting one at a time. So the twist just means we start with like a hammer grip, but then we twist to a traditional grip at the top. Okay, we're going for a minute. So it can be challenging to up your weight on something especially like a bicep curl. going for a full minute. But again, because we're alternating, that does give you a pretty good opportunity to at least try, because you're just curling one at a time instead of trying to lift both. Make sure you're keeping those elbows tucked into your side. We got 10 seconds. Nice. All right, guys, so we're gonna come down to the floor. We're doing a crunch twist combo. So what that's gonna look like, we're still in our break. I'll go ahead and get going to show you. We're gonna crunch up to the middle and back, then crunch side and side. So straight to that chest, lift up for your crunch, back down, then lift up, reach across, taking that whole shoulder across. Crunch, up, up, crunch, cross, cross. String pulls you up, down, reach, and reach. So make sure you're not pulling through your head. If you needed to support your head, then this is what it looks like. Just keep hands lightly. Make sure you don't use your hands to pull your head up. If they're really just there for support. I don't use them a lot unless I really need it, because I do tend to start pulling through my head. Woo, good job. All right, so we're gonna come up to the top. So for the next exercise, you probably want your lightest hand weight, or what you would consider light. That doesn't necessarily mean the 1 pound, but what you would call the lightest you have that's still gonna be work. So we're gonna do a front raise with a little different grip. So normally we front raise with this grip. We're gonna hammer front raise. So roll those shoulders back, keep them back in their sockets, and we lift straight up to the front. Good, so again, make sure the shoulders are staying back, and you're lifting this way, not rolling forward. Keep them back. For some of us, that might mean between every rep, we take a quick pause and roll them back. Because most of us are so tight through our chest that our shoulders are always gonna want to round forward. At every opportunity they can get. Just about 15 seconds. And all we're doing with changing this grip is changing the part of the shoulder muscle that we're working. All right, you're gonna need that block or that step or whatever you have. We're gonna do a squat. Actually, let's start with our left. We did our left for the lunge, so we'll do our left here. We're gonna do a squat with a single leg elevation. So we set our block up, but we're on our step. We line our feet up to squat. Parallel, make sure you don't have one behind the other. And now we squat. So nothing changes as far as our position. I'm still coming straight down in the center of my legs. I'm not rocking out to one leg or the other. I'm still coming straight down. The only difference is this leg is elevated. That's it. Still sitting back in that deep chair. Keeping that chest tall. Nothing different, except you're probably feeling a lot more sensation in this elevated leg. Ooh, we're under 10 seconds. Awesome. All right, you can kick that block out of the way. It's the last you'll need it for this round. We're gonna go back into our shoulders with a lateral raise out to the side. So probably the same weight that you did for the front raise. All right, so again, get those shoulders down. Little slight bend in those elbows, and we lift while keeping our shoulder down. So it's not a lift through here, shoulders stay down, arms lift. I want you to be just a little outside of the front of your body. So I don't want you to be straight or even behind your shoulders, just a little bit ahead of them, just a little. After this, we'll be getting into the floor for our next 2 exercises. You will need your slightly heavier weights, probably your mediums here. Good. You shrugging your shoulders? Be honest. Awesome. All right, so we're going to come down to the floor. This one you will probably hate me for the most. I'm just going to be honest, tell you right up front. We're going to be working in a plank, which I hear you immediately. Oh. So we're going to do a plank, shoulder tap, climber combo. So we're going to be in plank, probably have a little wider feet than normal. We're going to shoulder tap, climb, climb, shoulder tap, climb, climb. If you need to modify for your shoulder taps, come down to your knees, shoulder tap, pop up, climb, climb. I'll show you that again. Come down to knees, shoulder tap, lift, climb, and climb. Shoulder tap, climb, shoulder tap. You can move at your own pace here. If you want to move faster, slower, whatever you want. All right, now we come down to our backs. Ooh, I'm gonna see, this may or may not be the right weight for me. All right, so we're gonna do a narrow chest press. So we have our arms at 11, we come straight down, push up, bend those elbows, open to a fly, and then close. I already know that's way too heavy. These are gonna be way too light, but I at least wanna show you where to go. So we come straight down, up, bend those elbows, open, close. Straight down, up, open, close. That is normally my chest fly weight, but I'm trying to stay out of heavy work in my shoulder for a week or so. So I need to meet myself in the middle. This is way too light, but that other is way too heavy. Awesome. All right. That is our long break. So we're through round 1, guys. Done. So if you need to reevaluate your weight selection, now is the perfect time to do it. I think I'm going to try to do 20s with my bicep curl, but then be more conservative with my chest work. So basically I just emptied everything onto my, oh, Rue's back. Hello. Hi, are you here to work out with us? Next round is coming in 45 seconds, Rue. You better get ready if you're gonna work. Yeah, you better get ready. All right, guys, I'm gonna check on the video real quick. All right, looks like we're still looking good. So we've got that elevated lunge to start. We've got about 20 seconds. This does take a little bit of setup, so you probably want to go ahead, whichever, get yourself set up. Again, I like to sort of check from the bottom, and then we've got less than 10 seconds, so I'm just going to hang out here. So we just want knee over ankle, hips squared off,
This leg coming straight down, and now we go. You can also, since you have this extra range at the top, when you get to the top, you'll notice your leg, you have a little bit of bend left in it because it's elevated. You can actually extend, give that quad an extra squeeze at the top, and then come down. That's really gonna fire up that quad. Woo, do you know those cracks and pops? My left knee has got a new fun pop and grind to it. I keep hoping it'll just work itself out, but yeah. It's funny though, it doesn't hurt. It's just one of those really noisy pops. Yeah, that extra squeeze at the top. Boom. Boom. Woo! All right, got our alternating, twisting bicep curl. Hi, I see you. You're being so helpful. Oh my goodness. You want to do some bicep curls? You want to do bicep curls? Curl with you? So funny. All right, bicep curls, guys. We've got the alternating, twisting, shoulders back and down. Sorry, I was getting some notes from the producer. Twist it out. Woo! Again, I'm taking this opportunity, I think I did it on our last alternating curl, to give it a shot. Try it with those weights. Doing one at a time, well, it's not easy. It's definitely easier than doing two at a time, right? I've been wanting to take my bicep curl up forever because we talked about 15 pounds to 20 pounds is a big jump. It'd be really nice to have that in between 17.5 pound weight, but you still can't really buy weights out there right now. Woo! All right. Set those down. We're coming down to the floor. We've got that crunch with the twist. Let's bring it down. So remember, when we crunch, flatten across that middle pelvic floor. Those muscles squeeze down and in, or up and in. Chest lifts to the middle, and then we come across, chest lifts, cross, cross. So you come fully up to your crunch, drop fully down, cross, down, cross, down, crunch up, cross, cross. Again, keeping that belly nice and engaged. Pulling that pelvic floor up and in. That really helps us use our low abs instead of our hip flexors. Our hip flexors stay so tight that when we do core work, they really want to kick in. So you gotta engage other muscles to tell them to stop. All right, guys, bring it back up. Let's see. Let's try to go up on my front raise. Probably, I don't know, we'll see. Probably won't stay. We'll give it a shot though. Shoulders back and down. We lift up. No, I'm feeling that in my back. All right. Better. Yeah, that one. So just a kind of lesson so you know about your body. This particular exercise, if it's too heavy, aside from feeling it in those normal places like your neck or your traps, you will feel it pull in your back. And I don't mean in like those cool muscular places in your back. I mean in those places in your back that are like, no, we don't work. Make sure your shoulders are staying back in their sockets. They're not rolling forward. Awesome. All right, set them down. We've got the elevated squat. So let's set it up on your right foot this time. Get set up. So remember guys, it's really important, especially once our feet, this happens a lot when we elevate one foot or put them in different positions, they get out of line. So make sure that you're still in a straight line across your toes. And we squat back. Also remember, we're still dropping to the middle. We're not leaning to one leg or the other. We're still coming straight down to the middle. Sitting back in that deep chair. Don't let this leg being in this sort of bent position make you feel like you need to rock forward. You're still sitting back. And again, you're just getting more range of motion in this squat. I'm actually able to go below 90 with my leg elevated like this, which is something I can never do with my knees. I've recently been reading that doing these elevated versions, not only does it give you more range of motion, but it actually takes some pressure off of your joints, which is always a positive. Even if you don't have bad joints, you don't want to get bad joints, right? Great. All right, we've got lateral raise. Again, I'm going to take a quick experiment to see if I can up my lateral raise, but we'll probably have the same result. But you just got to give it a shot, right? All right, we got 5 seconds. So we want to stop about shoulder height, which can be hard if you're not working out in front of a mirror. So if you have the opportunity to catch your reflection in something, the TV, if you can see your shadow on the wall, it's a good way to check. You want to be just slightly out in front of your body. I mean, just a hair. Just about 15 seconds, just a little over. Make sure you're breathing. Okie doke. So we've got our last 2 exercises down on the floor. We've got that plank tap, climb combo, and then our narrow press and fly. I'm gonna go ahead and move my weights for the press and fly to where I can reach them. All right, plank tap and the climb. So we start here. If we need to modify, we drop our knees, we tap, lift, climb, climb. Or stay elevated. I suggest widening your feet for a sturdier base. And remember, the name of the game here is to be sturdy. So you don't want to pick up and fall, or pick up and fall this way and just slam your hand back down every time. You want to be able to control. If you can't, modify down to your knees. It's no big deal. This is not an easy exercise. So not only are we getting shoulder work, core work, we're getting our obliques, the sides of our abs. Woo! But adding in those climbers and pulling those knees out to the side, that works those nice like little girdle abs. All right, so we've got our narrow press and our chest fly. So narrow press, plug those shoulders back. We come straight down, up, a little bit in those elbows, open like we're giving somebody a big bear hug, close around it. Press down, up. So both of these are chest exercises, just hitting your chest in 2 different places. you're breathing. This is a lot of back to back to back work. Just short little breaks. Not as short as our Tabata last Saturday, but awesome. All right, that's our break, guys. Whew. We got a minute and a half. Catch your breath, get your water. Again, reevaluate your weight selection if you need to. Get your steps set up. Get everything ready. And grab your water, for sure. Hydration. In case you haven't noticed, we've added more to our fall decor. Got some little wooden owl friends down here, and then a little mosaic owl that I made at a little DIY craft place. I love it. I think it's so awesome. It makes me so happy. We love decoration season here in the Saunier house. All right, guys, we got about 30 more seconds, so plenty of time. You want to let your heart rate come down. You want to cool off a little. You don't want to get cold. So if this minute and a half break is making you get more cold, then just down to a simmer, then just keep marching, walk around the room, do a little jog, whatever you need. You want to come down to a simmer, but you don't want to get cold. So you got to find that sort of middle of the road place. Minute and a half break might be too long for some, might not be quite long enough for others. We're all different. All right, so we've got that elevated lunge. I'm gonna step back, find my alignment, square my hips off. And then again, when we get to the top, so we come down, get to the top, really kind of extend that leg back, don't hyperextend, extend it back, squeeze that quad, and then come back down. There's just a little extra oomph in that quad. Good, good. Remember, you do have the option for weights, to hold weights down by your side if you want. I'm just very protective of my knees, so I'm careful in a lunge how much extra I put onto myself. It's been so long since I've been able to properly lunge that they're still plenty challenging without throwing a ton of weight onto them. All right, with that alternate twisted bicep curl coming up next. If you haven't tried yet and you have the option, maybe give it a shot. Pop up to a little higher weight, just see how you do. No pressure, just saying. All right, we got 1 minute. Roll the shoulders back, lock those elbows in. And remember, we're twisting, so we start in that hammer position and then we rotate as we lift. Now, if you are trying to go a little heavier and you need to slow down a little bit, that's fine. We're not trying to see how many we can get done in a minute. It's about quality. Honestly, if you're able to speed bicep curl, are you really curling enough weight, period? 10 seconds. Wonderful. All right, let's bring it down to the floor. We've got our crunch with a twist. So again, guys, especially now, we're going to round 3. We've done a lot of this work. Core might be getting a little tired. Remember, we just don't pull through our neck. So don't do this. Keep your head in line with your spine. Lift. Come across. Come across. Lift. Oh, I think we've got a visitor. Hi, Rue. What, you gonna come up here? Okay. Okay, perfect. We'll do our crunches. Good girl. a 12 to 13 pound weight to your belly to take your crunches up a level. Good girl. Good girl. Whoa, we did it. Come on. Up down, up down. Good girl. Good job. All right, guys, we've got our hammer front raises coming up next. I only have one of you. I need 2 weights. I can't use you for this one. All right, hammer front raise. Roll those shoulders back. Keep them back. Lift. Again, we're stopping at about that shoulder height. Keep that core nice and tight. Shoulders plug back into their sockets. Should be feeling kind of the front of those shoulders. That's what we're working here. So those muscles that get so tight in the front of our shoulders, they're tight because they're compressed. That also means they get weak because they don't open and close. They're not being worked. They're just stuck in one spot. So we need to try to build those muscles up. We need to get them, 1, we need to get them open, and then 2, we need to build those muscles up. So when you have muscles that are consistently tight, we might think, oh, it's because they're so strong. No, it's the opposite. It's because they are stuck in one place because they're so tight, so they're getting weaker and weaker. So you gotta stretch them, open them, get them moving, and then start strengthening. All right, elevated squat, watch out too. All right, elevated squat. Sit back. Okay, make sure those toes are parallel. Still sitting back into that deep chair. Chest stays tall. Just a different sensation, right? You're getting a little more work in this leg, because you're able, again, to go so much deeper because you've got that foot elevated. So your range of motion is so much further. While still keeping this leg in about your normal range of motion. Under 10 seconds. Good work. All right, we've got a lateral raise. Coming up next. Oh, you're being such a good coach. You are. You're a great motivator. You are. You're so good. Rizzo has self-confidence issues, so we pep talk her on a regular basis. All right, guys, stand tall. Shoulders, really, really keep them down. We lift to the side. This goes so fast, right? Like, I can't believe we've only got 15 total minutes left. And that's including breaks and everything. Keeping those shoulders and that neck relaxed. Just lifting through the shoulder. Slightly out ahead of that body. Just a little bit of bend in those elbows. That's really why you're slightly ahead of the body. It's because your arms are still really in line, but that little bend puts the weights out just a little bit ahead of your body. Under 10. All right, 2 more exercises. We got our exercises on the floor. Oh, you're gonna love that. I'm gonna be on the floor with you. I'm gonna be on the floor with you. All right, so we've got our shoulder taps, climbs, and we got our narrow press and our fly. Hi, sweet girl. Such a good girl. I gotta do my exercises. Thank you. All right, set it up. Remember, slightly wider base. That's gonna help you be more stable to pick up. I also like to think as I'm picking one hand up, I'm pushing the floor away with the other. That really gives you some oomph out of those hands, as opposed to I'm picking one hand up and collapsing into the other. Think I'm picking one up, pushing the floor away from me. Really makes a big difference for me. Come down to our backs. Oop, I put my weights way too far away. Watch out, too. Right, narrow press with the flat. Yeah, let me sit. All right, press, fly. Keeping those shoulders plugged down into the floor. Don't let them roll up. Little bend in those elbows and keep them back. It's like you're giving someone a big hug and closing around. Open up, welcome the hug, give the hug, let it down. Beautiful work, guys. Round 3 in the books. We've got just one round left, and we're gonna be all done. We're getting a little bit of sweat on. I know I am. I'll leave these over here. All right. So we're gonna be doing right sides. You can set your right block, or your block up to the right. I'm assuming you don't have a left block and a right block. We got about a minute left on our break, guys. Again, don't let yourself get cold. So just make sure, do a little march, or if you're one who calms down really quickly, maybe a little jog, just something to keep that heart rate going. All right, we're about 30 seconds. So go ahead and make sure your weights are where they need to be. Get your block, your step, whatever. Set up for your lunge. Yoga block is actually working really well. I hope if any of you guys took that advice, you're having the same success. I mean, I use it a lot in yoga. I know I can hold my weight. I've put plenty of weight into it. So again, guys, make sure you got your legs set up here. Your hips are squared off, not one in front of the other. Hips are nice and square. You want this leg here right underneath you. Curl that toe, push up. When you get to the top, extend, squeeze, drop it back down. Made the mistake of looking down. Oh, so many pops. It sounds so awful. I'd say that's the one thing about not having music that I'm like, oh, is I hear all the grinds and pops and cracks. I need someone just to stand beside me and like pop bubble paper, so I just think it's bubble wrap all day. Guys, don't forget that squeeze at the top. Drop, squeeze, squeeze. Boom. All right. Alternating, twisted, bicep curl. Whew. I really am digging those elevated lunges. Don't be surprised if you see those come back in a video soon to happen. yoga block is definitely one of those things that always, you know, oh, you need one for yoga, you need one for this and that. I was always like, please, it's just a giant foam brick. What's that gonna do? And then I finally found one on clearance for like $3. So I bought it and I'm like, I really need another one. I need more than one yoga block. Good job, guys. Make sure you're lifting that weight, not swinging the weight. Lift it. Squeeze at the top. All right, I'm going to set these weights out of my way. All right. Whoop, coming down to the floor. Crunch with the twists. All right, guys, let's go. Crunch it up, down, cross, cross. Make sure when you're doing those twists that you're rotating that whole shoulder across, that you're not just crunching to the middle, but reaching an arm across. Really twist. Get those side abs. Yes, they have a much more technical name than that, but I think you know what I mean. All right, let's bring it up. We've got our hammer front raise coming up next. I really like that crunch with the twist too. I gotta say, it's one way to move fluidly and hit it all across the middle there. All right, hammer front raise. Pull those shoulders back, plug back into those sockets. These are the kind of lifts that, you know, you're just never going to do a ton of weight in, most likely, unless you become a, you know, bodybuilder or something like that. But even then, they're still using what's relative to them a very light weight. You know, this is never anything you're going to look to like PR in, you know, like, oh, I need a personal record in my front raise or my lateral raise. It's not what it's about. They're great muscle builders. You just have to remember the size and the ability of that muscle you're working. So to have a goal of doing a front raise with a 25-pound weight, it's probably not gonna happen. And I'm not trying to break your heart, I'm just trying to be realistic and help you set realistic goals. All right, guys, so we're gonna do our elevated squat. We're on the right side this time, if you've been working the same directions as me. So get that foot up, make sure they're parallel. Sit those hips back. Also too, guys, make sure your whole foot is on the block or the step. If you cannot fit your whole foot on it, then make sure your heel is on it. I'd rather your toes hang off a little bit if something has to than your heel. Because when we squat back, we want our weight to be to the back of our foot. If we don't have anything underneath our heel, our brain is going to be like, we're not shifting weight that way. Or if you do, then you're going to kick your block over or flip your block. So I'd rather your heel be on the step or the block than your toe if you have to pick. And sit back in that deep chair. We're at 10 seconds. Nice work. Yoga block. It's done for the day. You can let him go. We've got our lateral raises. Plank top combo, narrow press fly. Done, done, done. All right, guys. Roll those shoulders back, set them down, lift to the side. Again, just that slightest bend in your elbow. You never ever want to have your elbows locked out. Or really, I mean, you want it towards straight, but usually we can't decipher between straight and locked out. So really have a little bit of bend. Obviously the exception of that would be in a plank. But again, you don't want them locked out into the joint. You just want them straight. I like to literally think of as I lift that someone has their hands on top of my shoulders and are pushing down. Gently, not a crazy push, just a reminder, keep them down while your arms lift, your shoulders feel like they're coming down. All right, guys, last two exercises. Plank tap with a climb, narrow press fly. You're done. Whew. All right, let's bring it down. Shoulders are probably a little tired by now, chest a little tired, even everything's a little tired by the time you get to the plank, which incorporates everything. So I just say that so you're not surprised if suddenly this feels even harder than before. Again, we're bringing the knees to the outside, towards our elbows. My best tip here, like I was just talking about, is to imagine you're pushing the floor away with your planted hand. Now I'm exaggerating so you can really see it. You don't want to be elevating yourself up. I'm just sort of exaggerating so you can see that. You want to keep those hips steady, staying pointed towards the ground. All right, last exercise, bring it to your back. Narrow press with a fly. Coming up. We're in the home stretch, guys. All right, let's do it, friends. 1 minute. Make sure you're opening up at the chest level. You're not opening up by your throat or up above your head or at your head. You're still on that chest level. Almost there, guys. Super close. Hang tough. Ding, ding, ding. We did it, guys. Woo! Set those weights down. If you want to stay on the floor for a second, do a big stretch. Arms and legs like you're being pulled apart. Big good morning. Stretch it all out. We've worked everything down this front part. Good stuff. I'm going to bring those knees in, kind of reverse it. Curl your knees in, bring your chest up. We have made it through another workout. Another owl's arrived. Another owl's arrived. Oh. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful day. If you're anywhere near me, I know you have lots of options to do today with being so gorgeous, so I thank you for taking the time out to be with me and for taking the time out for yourself. It's super important. So I hope you enjoyed this circuit. Our next class, we're going to do back body circuit, so same timing, just working the back half of our body.
So I'll post more details about that later, but I look forward to seeing you then. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Remember, if you do wish to donate anything for this workout, Venmo @StrongStyleFit is where you'll find me. Otherwise, I'll see you on my Facebook page, my Twitter, my Instagram, or my YouTube. Thanks again, guys. Have a great one. Rue says bye and have a great weekend too. Mwah!